talking about how to invest in real estate with $0. 128, 2023. Lots of ways we're going to cover that today. I'm excited that we had 150 people sign up for this instead of, going out to brunch today, or it's a rainy day. They could be watching movies or something. But today we're going to learn how to build wealth through real estate.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting topic. We're glad that you guys are here. Should have some fun. We're getting after it. Last time we did this, it was late at night. My voice went out.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good.
Good. Yep. We're going to get started in just a minute. Instagram, everybody watching, in order to stay on this webinar and see this content, you got to go sign up for the link. It's in the bio. You'll get the Zoom link and you can join via that. What's been new with you recently?
Personally, feeling good.
Yeah.
Healthy, exercising. I'm doing a fast right now, which is exciting.
How long?
Going for 2 days.
When did it start?
Yesterday for lunch. Hit
Nice.
the gym up twice yesterday, so
All right.
I'm all in on it. And we've been just doing a lot of swimming. I got the boys out there. Family's healthy. We're blessed. Can't complain. And just clear direction moving forward.
You got
And,
a sweet hat.
Sweet hat going. Got it from Captain, my father-in-law. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Teaching my classes at ACC, and I'm excited about this topic because this is one of the things that all these students talk about is they feel they have an excuse, but they just don't know that it's an excuse. Maybe they're like, I'm talking about all these ways to acquire and to build, and they're like, yeah, it sounds great if I had money.
Yeah.
So that's something I got from my class.
Well, I think that's what holds a lot of people back is, initially that's what I thought too. You need money to make money, but there's so many creative and different ways to make money in real estate. Even if you don't have any, you don't have to have 50 grand, 100 grand, $1 million to go out there and start making money.
Yeah. We talk about this. We live this life. I said this the other day, but Elon goes and buys Twitter, and yes, he's one of the wealthiest guys, but he's probably not sitting on $44 billion in cash, right? And so he locked this deal up and he's like, I'm going to go figure it out. I'm going to put the money together. And so the idea is to help people get a level of confidence that they can pull deals off, they can raise the capital. And then when you understand that, you're never going to be in a position where you just have everything you need to go get everything done. So you understand that, and it unlocks this whole other world and the confidence of, I can get this done.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hold you back from looking for new opportunities. So that would be a really good takeaway, guys. If you could really take note of that and write this down, right? Is like, how do you get rid of that fear? Eliminate the fear of being able to have that excuse that says, I don't have any capital. And then you're not held back from any size of deals.
No, not at all. And like Matt said, we're going to teach a lot of important stuff today. So if you don't have it yet, before we actually get started in the content, go get a piece of paper, go get a pen. Make sure you take a lot of notes today. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you'll gather from today that you can go take and implement in your life to start investing in real estate and start building wealth.
Yeah, and this is great. I wish, and we do have other platforms or ways that we do this. I wish it was like interactive because we like to communicate with you guys, but just keep your questions. We're easy to get a hold of. Write them down, message us.
We're going to have a Q&A.
Q&A? Oh, sweet. Love it.
They'll be able to type their questions in the chat and we'll answer them at the end.
Sweet. I love it. And if you think of things after, really just throwing that out there to let you know we're always available. We want to help. We're building a community here that you can be a part of. And let's unlock the fear and get some education out there. So like Alex said, get your pens, paper ready, and we're going to dive in. And this is what we live. We live this, we breathe this. I don't know if anybody taught you, no one taught me this concept of like, I'm not going to be scared to fail on some of these deals and take the risk and just jump in. And I feel like for so many people, and if this is you, that's okay. There's just this unlock that has to take place that you just have to kind of get over that gap of like, you can't get it done. You don't have everything you need. And what we always talk about is we're just constantly solving problems. Even if you had all the capital, you're going to have to solve 15 other problems. So just to recognize that that's the space you got to live in order to get deals done, in order to scale, in order to grow.
Yeah. And it sets you free once you do kind of get over that hump.
Yeah.
Then anything is possible. All right, Instagram. If you want to stay on and you want to continue to hear this webinar, make sure you join via Zoom. We're gonna make these guys an offer today, Matt. Since they're here, they showed up, they're taking action on a Saturday.
Yeah,
We're gonna give them the opportunity to take advantage of $700 worth of savings. So what you're gonna get is you're gonna be able to get a VIP ticket to the Entrepreneur Real Estate Workshop. This is our first live event that we're putting on in April in Austin, Texas. There's gonna be over 300 plus people here learning about real estate, taking action in real estate. This can be me and Matt. We're putting it on. We may have some guest speakers come, but it's going to be April 29th, 9 to 5. And today you got the opportunity to get a VIP ticket for $197. It's going to be a package deal, but the VIP ticket is $197. We're going to start selling them on Monday for $300. There's limited VIP tickets. And with the VIP tickets, you're going to get the best seating in the house. You are also going to get exclusive access to things that everybody else is not going to get. You're going to have a VIP lunch with just Matt and I and the other VIP ticket holders. And most importantly is you're going to be able to network with the other VIP members there. There's limited tickets available. We're going to start selling them on Monday. You are the first ones to hear about it right now. And the second thing you're going to get is the Wholesaling Jumpstart course. So this is a course that's going to teach you how to start making money wholesaling in 30 to 60 days. It's not a very time-intensive course. It tells you exactly what you need to do, teaches you how to build a team, the right tools that you need, how to negotiate with sellers, how to get them under contract, how to find buyers, and then how to take it all the way through closing with title, buyer, seller, and making your wholesale fee. We sell that on our website for $997, but today you're going to get it for $397. So you have to take advantage of it today. You can get the VIP ticket to the Entrepreneur Real Estate Workshop and the Wholesaling Jumpstart course. Package deal for $597, over $700 worth of savings.
Nice. That's great. Alex put a lot of time and effort into that. And it's a culmination of years of experience and work and sitting down and putting it on paper, recording videos, creating a process. So you guys will enjoy that and hope to see you as well at the event. Should be fun.
Yeah. It's really important for the event. I mean, you can join these live webinars and you'll learn a lot. You can go to Google and YouTube and learn all the information that you want to. But to start building wealth and to start making money in real estate, you got to get out in the market. You got to get out of your house. You got to show up somewhere, get on site, start networking with people, start meeting people. In this event, you're going to get taught how to invest in real estate, how to partner with other people. You're going to get taught how to find on and off market deals, how to raise capital, how to put deals together, and how to start investing, the moment you leave there.
Yeah, and have some fun with it, right? Like, life's short, man. And so you could be just doing deals by yourself. This is one thing that I've thought about a lot, is doing deals and just making money on your own is cool, but like celebrating with people and doing it with people is really where it's fun. And you got people that you're sharing with, you're in the trenches with. And so that's part of the live event, right? Just get around each other, start having fun, enjoy the process, start figuring out ways to work together and enjoy it, man. Like, yeah, this is what we get to do. It's a blessing.
Not only that, but doing deals by yourself is only going to take you so far. Eventually you're going to run out of capital, you're going to run out of resources, and you're going to have to figure out a way to start doing deals with other people.
Yeah, you're going to run yourself ragged, just managing, doing the capital, talking to the lenders, doing the accounting. Gotta have good people, good connections, and man, we hope to see you guys there.
Yep. All right. Well, let's dive into how to start investing with $0. So initially, when I was getting started investing in real estate, the first deal that we bought together, it did cost us 28 grand each, White Brush and Brushy Creek. But there's so many different ways, and what we want to do today is open up your mind. If you don't have it yet, get your pen and paper and start taking notes. So initially, what do you think people potentially struggle with this concept right here, like you were talking about earlier?
Probably the number one thing would be not having the confidence that they can figure it out.
Yep.
So that's what we do. We literally have a deal under contract. We have one little 24 unit that we're chasing, and we don't have the capital, but that doesn't hold us back. So just really fully understanding that there's a mindset shift that has to occur. It's education, but then it's access to resources and confidence in yourself that you're able to get it done. So there's a lot of ways to go about it. And just quickly before we jump in, like you mentioned wholesaling earlier, wholesaling course, that's one of the easiest ways. Like when you're wholesaling, you're finding an opportunity, but you can always find a partner to bring in to own that property with you. So we'll dive into that. We do dive into that on the course and how to go about that. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, it's really the mindset of like, we're never going to have all the capital. Elon didn't have the capital for Twitter, right? And taking action and not letting that hold you back, and then getting to problem solving. Like, what's the first problem we're going to solve? Because we know there's going to be 50. So let's get a problem to solve. And if you are held back and you don't take any action and you don't make an offer and you don't get anything under contract, you're not creating any problems for yourself to solve.
Right. Well, you do have a problem. You're not making money.
Yeah, well, you got that problem, but you're not taking any, initiative to get started. You're you got to really, you're always going to have the problem.
Right.
Whether you sit back or take action. So just embrace it.
Right.
Get in there and solve it.
Yeah. One of the most important things that you'll need to learn is how to solve problems. And any deal that you do, even if you have all the money in the world to invest in a deal, you're still going to have problems with that deal. And no deal is the same. Even if they're very similar, there's going to be unique things with every single deal and unique problems that arise. And you're going to have to figure out how to go out there and solve these problems. So you do need the confidence in yourself. And the confidence comes over time. Like, you're not going to have 1,000% confidence day one. I didn't, but I had confidence in myself that I knew I would figure out what we needed to do in order to get it done.
Yeah. So the confidence and then the education applies to the confidence. If you don't just like tell yourself you're confident, look in the mirror and you're good, you've got to put in the work to understand the options, or you got to have the right people that can show you them, which we're here to do. But the confidence is a no fear attitude, which we promote. It's the idea of working with people, not for people. And then it comes into, what are all the options to get this deal done? If you understand those things, then you just figure it out constantly. I mean, if we were to run into like a $50 million deal, we're not sitting on 50 million cash, but we wouldn't like, it wouldn't make us nervous.
No, I mean,
it wouldn't be any different than a $2 million deal.
Right.
And we're not sitting on $2 million either.
Right.
So that's huge, right? Yeah. It's like we have complete confidence. And we also know that if things don't work out, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if that resonates with you guys, but like, dead serious, a $2 million deal or a $50 million deal would literally make no difference to us mentally.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
and we don't have either, like I said.
It's just numbers.
Yeah.
It's just extra zeros.
Yeah. So that's big, right? Is fully having that confidence, understanding the options, and recognizing that everybody does this. This is how you do deals.
Right.
Unless you're Warren Buffett and you're just sitting on $100 billion and you just analyze which one to do and you do 5 deals a year, you've got to take risk and scale to get to that point.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not even positive that Warren does all of his deals cash. Even if he does, Warren didn't start out that way.
Right.
I don't know if you've listened to Warren's story, but he got started just by himself, and he was raising capital from his family.
He almost lost it all.
Yeah. He had the confidence that he was going to be able to go in and buy discounted companies or shares of discounted companies and make everybody money.
Most people that I know, and I'm sure there's like counterpoints, but everybody that I know that's done something big has had a really big moment where they almost failed. Straight up. And Bezos, Elon, I mean, all those guys, but my Uncle Jack, because it takes risk. And you have to get to that point. And that's if you're trying to go big. If you're just trying to buy one house per year, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's a level of scale, and it all comes with risk. Like, I think all of this is like really understanding what level of risk you want to play at.
Yeah. But even if you're not taking risk, I've mentioned this 1,000 times, you still are risking a lot of things. You're risking your future, you're risking winning, you're risking becoming financially free through real estate. So not taking action is also a risk.
Oh, it's more of a risk.
Yeah, it's more of a risk. You gotta I heard this stat the other day that I think it was 53% of people making $100,000 or more in the United States live paycheck to paycheck. So I mean, like 100 grand's a lot of money to a lot of people. And even people who are making 100 grand a year, 50% plus of them are living paycheck to paycheck. That's pretty risky. So anyways, not taking risk is also a risk. And today, like Matt's talking about, you got to have the confidence, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself that you can get out there and you can solve problems. I'm sure you've solved a lot of problems in your life. Real estate is no different. It's not this big thing that's, unattainable or you can't figure it out. It's very simple and basic, actually, when you break it down, all the parts of a deal. And you just got to get in there and figure out how to get all the parties involved, how to get the deal done. And we're going to teach you some of those options today.
Yeah. And write that down. Not taking a risk is the bigger risk.
Yeah.
Write it down. Put it on the mirror, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I remember, so when I've always made money kind of the entrepreneurial way. But there was a point in my life 7 years ago where I didn't. And I was just kind of saving my money. I was restarting my life and I had jobs. And I got fired from my last job. And I remember sitting there thinking, either I go all in and start legal businesses now, or, I probably will or never do it. I don't want to look back, 20 plus years later at, some oil and gas job I got and regret not taking that risk.
Totally, man. I was working at Edge and I wanted to make some more money. So I started working with my dad on the weekends at the Rock Yard. And I remember like just getting so motivated and so mad that I was sitting there at the Rock Yard because I was making like maybe, I don't know, $200 or $300 in a weekend.
What were you doing? Selling rock?
No, I was like,
physical.
Yeah.
Moving the rock.
I was doing inventory.
Got it.
Yeah. And it just made me so motivated to be like, I'm sitting here for 8 hours today and tomorrow, and I could just go do one lease.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell am I doing? And I know how to do a lease, and I probably do 10 of them. So that's just to the mentality of the industry that we're in and the opportunities that we have here. It's unreal what's possible in real estate. And that's what we're so passionate about, is trying to unlock it for people and for us to grow with people. I mean, really, that's like a core value. It's not official like core value or core focus, but grow together is our concept and really unlocking what's possible and doing it in a real way. Like, we're not here to talk to see ourselves on camera or because we enjoy it. We believe in what we're doing and we want to help other people. And we want to do it and grow with you guys. So that's the whole point of this. Like, a lot of people you might see online, they're just talking, but we're doing this and we're just filming to get the content. We're ready to get back to it. But we're 100% living this mindset of let's get these things under contract and let's just figure it out.
Right.
And it's fun.
Right. It is. Let's go through some of the knowledge aspect. So different ways to make money in real estate. We're going to talk about as many of these today as we can. You mentioned one already, wholesaling. What is wholesaling?
Yeah, and that's a great one. So for those who don't know, it is frowned upon by most brokerages, but not TRE. There's a lot that allow it, but the mentality is you find value, you get it under contract, you get control, and then you transfer the value to somebody else. I could go on and on about this. There's people that are negative about it, people that have a stigma that they just hate it. But my logic is like, you're telling me if I have $2 million and I can close on it and the next day I can sell it for 2.5, that's fine. But I can't just transfer the contract and make the money. That ain't right. You shouldn't have to have $2 million cash to make money, right? Who cares what money you make or what happens with the deal? If you agree with the person up front and you get them what you want, that's a good deal. So the concept is I tie a property up with Alex at a certain price. I found value and I take that value and I transfer it to somebody else and I have a markup there. And I can make a commission and a wholesale fee. I can just make a wholesale fee. And when you capture that value, you can get creative on, do I want to just take a fee? Do I want to take equity ownership of this transaction? And so that literally requires no money. It just requires hustle. And it's big. I mean, it's done in all kinds of industries. You know, I don't know. I haven't
It's
studied
the
it.
basics of business. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, but it's done in, yeah, exactly. Like it's done in industries where they just buy it and sell it, but people also transfer contracts.
Right.
It happens a lot actually in oil and gas,
Futures and
everything.
Yeah.
But traditional brokerages and people that aren't educated about this, they want to knock it. They want to say that it's, you know, you're the outlaws of real estate, whatever it may be. You just have no actual knowledge, if you're saying this, about what it is and what's actually happening in the world in general, because there's 100% nothing wrong with it. What could be wrong with it is if you're treating people wrong and you're not closing these deals and you're not disclosing what you're doing. That's where the issues can come from.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple reasons why I think people get mad at it. Number one, they're missing out on the opportunities. And number two, they're either uneducated on it or they're not making money on it themselves.
Yeah. And I honestly, I would prefer that there was a license for it.
Yeah.
Like I would like that. And just like, you know, other thing, cannabis, right? Like you make it illegal or you make it frowned upon, and then there becomes this whole market of bad actors. Like there are people that operate within wholesale in a really, really bad way.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were required to have a license and you put regulations on it, a lot of that would be forced to stop.
Right. Well, let's break it down for them real quick. So wholesaling deals is I go out and I find a property and I get the owner to agree to sell it to me for, you know, $100,000. Let's say I think it's worth 180. Maybe it needs $15,000 worth of work, and at that point it'll be worth 180.
Yeah.
I get the seller to agree to sell it to me for 100. I go under contract with them.
100K right here.
All right, we'll use this one. 100K right here. And at this point, when I go under contract with the seller, I own the right to buy this property per the terms of this contract. So I haven't bought anything yet. I don't own the real estate yet, but I own the right to buy this property per the terms of the contract. It may be $100,000 purchase price, maybe 35-day close, maybe a 20-day option period. All the terms in the contract, I own the right to buy this property per those terms. And the seller cannot go get under contract with somebody else, and somebody else cannot come and buy this property unless we cancel this contract. I breach the terms of this agreement. But right now I own this right. I've got what's called equitable interest in this contract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this contract and I'm going to go find a buyer. I'm going to say, hey, look, I got to, what are you smiling?
No, I'm just, so like, it's not a stupid little analogy, but like, this is half full, right? Alex has control of this.
Right.
And so put a little more water in there, right? This is value that Alex has captured. You created more value here, right?
For sure.
So you're adding to this, and then go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to go find me a buyer. I've got this contract. I own the right to buy this property. I know that it's undervalued. For whatever reason, the seller agreed to sell it to me at this price. We talk to sellers all day long. We got people calling in our website. I talked to 5 yesterday, and not everybody wants to list their house on the market. Not everybody wants to get top dollar for their property. Their property needs work. They know it needs work. I was talking to this lady yesterday. She's got a commercial space out in, it's right outside of Waco. I forget the town. But anyway, she just inherited it. It went through probate. Her and her mom owned it. And she's like, I'm out in Uvalde right now. I've got this land that I really like. I need to sell that commercial space as fast as possible. I know it needs work. I think it's probably worth, $400, but I'm willing to sell it for $340. I want to get it out of here. I don't want to list it. I don't want all the time that it takes to list it. You buy it cash for $340. I'm gonna go buy this property in Uvalde, right? That was important to her. The time frame for her to get this cash so that she could go buy her property in Uvalde was more important to her than waiting 30, 60, 90, 120 days to list it on the market, maybe get a seller. She needs this cash now. So for whatever reason, this seller wants to sell. They're willing to sell it at a discount to you. And I've got the right to buy it. So I'm going to go market this contract, my equitable interest, to somebody else, and I'm going to mark it up. Let's just say I mark it up 10 grand. I'm going to say, hey, Matt, I got this property. You put 10, 15K into it. It's going to be worth 185. I'll sell it to you for 110. You put the
210.
No, 110.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
got it for 100. I'm going to mark it up 10.
got it.
$10,000 assignment fee, wholesale fee to me. And you buy it for 110, you put 10 into it, all in for 120, and then you got a property that's worth 185. Matt says, yeah, that's a great deal. Then I assign this contract to Matt. I remove my liability from it. Matt is now drinking all the value.
Now I'm going to add some more value because it's real. You're only transferring this to me if I can now make money as well.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm buying it.
Right.
So there's multiple people.
Right. Everybody's benefit.
Yeah.
Seller, Matt's going to take this to closing. He's going to put the 110. He's going to send that to the title company. And at closing, this is what's going to happen. Matt's going to get his property for 110. I'm going to get my 10 grand, and the seller is going to get their $100,000. Everybody walks away happy. Everybody gets what they wanted. And now Matt's going to go create whatever he wants to with this property he just bought.
Yeah. And write this down. Very rarely is the price the most important thing. Almost never, if you really think about it. If price was the most important thing, then they would have out spreadsheets and how much interest are they paying every day, and they would be trying to time the market,
Right.
and they would be trying to like sell at the peak, almost like they were a day trader.
Right.
That literally, I almost believe it's like never the case.
It's not.
Even for us.
Yeah.
Like if we're selling a property, we're selling it because there's something else we're trying to do. We're not just trying to sell at the peak and capture every value. Like literally, it's kind of an unlock for me right now because everyone always says price, and I know that's true to a sense, but it's really not, because you would be operating in a much different way.
Yeah. The lady I talked to yesterday, for example, I said she initially wanted to sell it for like 360. She's like, I know the roof needs some work. You know, we need to do this, this, and this to it. And I think once that's done, it'll be worth 475. I was like, okay, well, what's the best price you can do? Like, what's the lowest amount that you're willing to walk away with?
Mhm.
And she was like, and then you just listen.
Mm.
You just be quiet and you listen. And she was like, well, you know, I could probably do like 340. So she just went from 360 to 340. And then, you know, obviously price is not that important. I asked her, I said, oh, does the property in Uvalde, is that going to cost you 340 grand that you have to spend on it? She's like, yeah, well, approximately, give or take. And then I start asking her, would she consider seller financing?
Mhm.
And she was like, well, maybe. You know, what does that look like? It would depend on the interest rate. Then we start breaking it down, and I realized she actually doesn't need 340 grand.
Yeah.
She actually needs less than 80 grand in order to be able to buy her property in Uvalde. But if price was the most important thing, she would put the money into it and fix it,
Right.
and then list it and sell it for
Create a spreadsheet
475.
and, you know, everything, and sell it when interest rates drop. You know, you'd be trying to time all these things.
Right.
100%.
But what was most important to her, she didn't like that county. There's probably some emotional things, you know, with her and her mom owning it. She's never going back to that place again. She wants to get rid of it, and she wants to move to this new project in Uvalde. That is the most important thing to her.
Yeah.
It's not what she sells it for.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. It's a really, it gets fun when you show someone interest in solving their problems. They enjoy that.
Mhm.
And they also, they want to work with someone that they feel like they can trust and that will get this deal done at the end of the day. That's what everyone's doing. They're working with people that they like,
Mhm.
even if it's just an agent, right? Like you list your property with the agent that you like the most,
Yeah.
right? You don't go like really truly analyze and look at these spreadsheets and say, this one's going to get me 10% more because of this, this, and that. So you just got to recognize that it's like such a people game.
Mhm.
And it's not the price. There's something deeper going on. And the best thing is when you run into people that enjoy this conversation and they like being creative, they want to do a deal that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we don't get to sell properties a lot with people that are sophisticated in being creative with real estate.
Mhm.
But if we found someone that was, we would love to wheel and deal with them
Yeah,
and give them some value here. We get some value here.
right.
So that's where it gets really fun.
It does. So wholesaling. I hope everybody fully understands this concept. This is the really cool thing about real estate, and one way that you can make money today without ever even having to go get a loan, without having to buy anything. And yeah, wholesaling, I want to be clear. Wholesaling may cost you $20 for option and earnest money. You know, that's about how much you might need to go contact an off-market seller, get a deal under contract. You are going to need slight bit of money, but it may be $20. And if you don't have $20 or know how to go out and get $20, then that's the first problem you need to solve so that you can go get a deal under contract and start making money wholesale.
And we did say no money. So we'll help put up the money.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, here's how you do it, no money. You go ask, you know, whoever.
Us right here.
Yeah,
We're
us.
telling you. If you're listening to us, we're telling you.
Whoever. I mean, be like, hey, Matt, Alex, I need to borrow $20. I got this sweet
Or
deal.
$2,000. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But $20, it's not that much. Anyways, wholesaling deals. You're not buying anything. You are capitalizing on your problem solving skills and your confidence to go out, find a deal and assign that deal or mark it up and give it to somebody else so that they can capture all the remaining value that comes with owning real estate.
No money required. We told you. That's step one.
Seller financing.
Seller financing is one of my favorites. Back to wheeling and dealing, you get all these levers that you get to pull. You get the down payment. Write this down. Here's the levers. Down payment, interest rate, price, amortization schedule, balloon payment. All of those things are levers that you can pull and you can bring different values in different ways. And it gets really, really fun because you can get super creative.
Yeah. And I've even, you know, I would even add one more and just say payment. So with seller
Sure.
finance negotiations recently, I haven't even been mentioning, you know, interest rate or anything. I just tell them, hey, we need our payment right here.
So take out, I'll put it this way, because I said interest rate and amortization, just take those out and it's in your favor to say payment. So
Yeah.
price, payment, balloon,
Down payment too. Yeah.
down payment.
Yeah.
Write those down. Please write those down.
Write it down. So what seller financing is instead of going and getting a loan from a bank, the seller is going to finance this property to me. With this lady yesterday, she wasn't able to do it for $0 down, but that's what we're going to talk about today. However, you know, I worked her from, she started at 360. I said, what's the lowest you can take? 330, 340. Okay, cool. Why do you need 340? Well, I'm buying this in Uvalde. Okay, well, you know, what do you think it'd rent out for? And I started running her through these numbers. I said, what do you think it'll rent out for? She thinks it'll rent out for $12 a square foot a year. So, you know, 5,500 square foot building, she thinks it'll rent out for 5,500 a month. It's some small little town. It's got 16,000 population. I wasn't too confident that that might be true. So I said, well, hey, look, while we run through these numbers, can we agree that 3,500 might be a conservative estimate on what we can rent this out for? She said, yeah. I was like, cool. What are the property taxes? All right, let's subtract that. All right, we're going to have to pay 7% to management to manage this property. Let's subtract that. You're going to make me get insurance on it because you're seller financing it to me. So that's going to cost me, you know, $2,500 a year. So let's subtract that. We also got to put money into fixing the roof, like you mentioned. We also are going to have maintenance and stuff that comes up. So that's going to bring us all the way down here. And in order to make a little bit of cash flow, I need this payment at about $1,500 a month. You think you could seller finance it to us if we give you a $1,500 payment every single month? And, you know, again, just listen.
Yeah.
And she said she didn't agree to that, but she did agree to $1,800 payment. And I need to look into this deal a little bit more. But if this deal goes through, potentially we could be making $3,000 a month in cash flow from this seller finance deal without having to go get approved from a loan from a bank, without having to pay origination points, without having to get my credit pulled. If you know how to structure these deals and negotiate these deals, you can buy real estate without ever having to go to a bank and getting a loan.
Yeah. And that's That's the dream, not deal with these banks.
Yeah, there's no bureaucracy. It's just me and you, me the buyer, you the seller. And if we agree on these terms, then we're good.
Yep. Yeah, and if you guys want to learn more about the community banking side, we're going to have a another webinar and class on banking and financing and stuff like that, because it's key, right? We learn all kinds of things. We got our bankers asking for financials on properties we already own all the time. Like, what the heck is this? But you just deal with these problems. One thing to mention that's really important is that seller financing doesn't have to be the whole deal. You could seller finance half of the deal, right? And we did that on a assisted living where we truly did no money down. We got a loan from the bank and our down payment was financed from the seller. So we financed the whole thing.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
And so it's really important to know that, all those levers that I had you guys write down, those are variables that you can use 50-50 or 100% of the deal. And it just gets to where you're really able to think creatively and approach these deals. And that's the money you make is using your brain now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. So concept of seller financing, like Matt mentioned, what are the things they wrote down?
All right. So I had my five.
Did you write it down?
Did you write that down? All right. So let's just call it 6.
All right, go ahead.
But really you could simple it to 3. So we got price. What's the price that you're going to pay? And I'll tell you why this is a lever on each one of these. Hopefully you can pay more than market value if your payment's lower, your down payment's lower, your interest rate's lower, your balloon payment's longer. So you can work with price up and down, right? You might not care what price you pay if you're cash flowing $5,000 a month.
Let me ask you this. If a property is worth actual market value is 400, and seller agrees to sell it to you for 600, but the seller finance it to you, 20-year balloon, and your monthly payments are only $500 a month. You can rent it out for 3,500.
I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Even though you're paying 200 grand over?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm going to make money for 20 years. And it's going to be worth more than that in 20 years. Right. So there's no lose. And maybe all of my payments count towards paying it off at 0% interest.
How crazy you think it would throw off a seller if they're like, I have to sell my property for 400. This is what the market is. This is what my neighbor sold it for. And you're like, look, I'll pay you 600.
Yeah.
But I need you to give me $500 payments for 20 years.
Yeah. Or $1 million. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is, if we were on the flip side, we would do that deal too. We'd sell all of our properties at a crazy high price and get this, if we worked it right.
Right.
So that's where it gets fun. It truly can be a win-win because everyone has different goals.
Right.
We could triple our properties and say, pay us, $200 a month, but we'll get all that value later.
Right. All right. I messed up your,
no, you're good. No, it's important.
You're 6.
So the price, you can mess with the price. Really good. No, it's a good, helped us go in depth on that. The amortization,
what is that?
The amortization is the time period at which they base your payments and interest off of to calculate what you owe monthly. So if it's a 15-year amortization payment versus 20 or 30, the price changes significantly. The further you go out, write this down, the further the amortization schedule, the lower the payment. So if you did a 50-year, a 100-year, a 200-year, the payment keeps going down. It obviously takes longer to pay it off, but that's critical if you're trying to cash flow on the properties right now. So you can mess with that. Banks do 30, 25-year amortization, but they do these balloons, which we'll talk about next. But try to get a 50, try to get a 60, try to get 100. I'd love if someone was going to pay me for 100 years. Start paying my kids. So amortization, interest rate, obviously, right? That's the number one factor in what your payment is going to be, along with the amortization. But if you do the interest rate higher or lower, or you can do it fixed, or you can do it adjustable, you can have it set for a fixed schedule. Say your interest rate is 4% for 5 years, and for the next 5 years, it's 8%. For the next 5 years, it's 20%. There's so many variables that you can manipulate to capture value. So what if you told a seller that you were going to do no interest for 2 years, you're still going to make payments, and then you did 20% interest for the next 4 years. But your whole goal was to get rid of the property in 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's the street smarts, the creativity that all come into play. You obviously have to have no prepayment penalty in there to make that make sense. And then you have the balloon payment, which is the time period at which the money is actually due. Ideally, you have no balloon payment, and you just leave yourself flexible to when you want to pay it off. But a lot of times sellers want some kind of set date where you're going to pay them off. So that's, call it 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. That's when the seller is going to get the lump sum. When you get to that point, you can refinance, you can pay it off, you can sell it, but you get yourself some time to figure that problem out to
Right.
solve. And then the next one would be payment. What is your monthly payment? You could just start with negotiating with where your payment you want it to be. And when you talk to the seller and you detail out why you need to be at this payment, they're a lot quicker and easier to understand and agree with you on, if I'm talking to you and I'm saying I want 8% interest, they're like, oh, it needs to be 9, versus I'm like, I need my payment to be 1,500 because of this, and this. Then there's not as much negotiation.
Yeah.
They clearly understand what needs to happen.
Right. It makes it that's why I mentioned that. It makes it a little bit easier. And I learned that when we were with Ted, when we were like, we need the payment to be $1,300. Who cares what it looks like? We just need it to be 1,300.
Yeah, we'll pay whatever price. Yeah, exactly.
Did you go through all 6?
Yeah, I think I did.
All right. Another form of seller financing, a little bit different, a little bit, different negotiation, is buying these properties subject to. I don't know if you've heard this before. Subject to means you're buying it subject to the financing that the seller has in place. So a great example, I know we got Mr. Sweeney on the call.
We do?
Hello, Mr. Sweeney.
All right, class is in session.
Class is in session with Sweeney. So we did a deal with Chris Sweeney, and I love this deal, and I love using it as an example. But Chris Sweeney found a deal. It was listed on the MLS.
Chris found the best deals ever.
Yeah, he did. He has
2 of them.
3.
Well, multiple.
Yeah. So this deal was found on the MLS. It was a property listed in Round Rock. It was overpriced. Had a real estate agent listed on the MLS. I'm sure 100, 200, 300 people saw this property. Thousands maybe have seen this property before while it was listed, but no one, not one of them who saw this property knew what y'all are learning today. They didn't really understand this. They didn't really understand that. They definitely didn't understand the sub 2 aspect that we got this deal done with. I think it was listed at like 380 something, higher than market value. So of course nobody wanted it. But Chris Sweeney didn't look at this and just say, oh, the seller wants, $30K more than market value. It's done. It's not a deal. He was smart enough. He had the confidence. He knew how to solve the problem, and he had the knowledge to go in there and say, okay, I don't even know exactly how the negotiations went, but he figured out that the seller had to sell this property. They had to get out of this house for whatever reason. They bought it a couple of years ago. Their interest rate on it was 3.25%. And they owed a balance of about 355, 345. They owed a balance of about 345, and they had a interest rate of 3.25%. So long story short, Chris Sweeney, through negotiations with the listing agent, was able to get the seller to agree to not make any money on this deal, to allow us to come in and get this loan and this property at the 3.25% interest rate, the principal balance at 355, the payment with insurance, taxes, principal, interest, everything, I think was like $2,100 a month or something. So a little bit higher than what we could rent it out for. So we'd still lose money on it. But Chris Sweeney convinced the seller and the listing agent to sell this property, not make any money. As a matter of fact, the seller came to the closing table with $6,000, $3,000 commission to the listing agent, $3,000 commission to the buyer agent, and the seller agreed to pay $200 a month, I think, for like 2 years or something, for the new buyer's mortgage payment. So the seller is also going to pay $200 a month for the new buyer to come in and take over this mortgage payment and assume ownership of this property. That's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
You get paid at closing. You're going to get paid every single month. You're not coming to the closing table with any money, and you get it for free, but you're solving a problem for the seller.
That's like the extreme example of what we're talking about. How to buy real estate with no money.
How to
How
get
do you even
paid to
get
buy?
paid to buy real estate
Well, you
with
should
no
get-
money?
Yeah,
That's how. Talk to Chris Sweeney.
you should get paid with your real estate investments no matter what. But in this case, you got paid to show up to the closing table and buy it.
Beautiful. So there's different levels of each of these things, and it could be interesting to just talk through this real quick of who's the buyer, who's the seller on these,
Go
right?
ahead.
Like wholesaling is these are the hustlers that got no money. They're trying to put these deals together. This is like the basic understanding, right? And the people that are buying it, they're the investors. Seller financing, these are the owners that they're older. They've owned these properties forever. They're paid off, right? The buyer is the person that doesn't have good credit. Subject to, these are people that are going to foreclosure. This is just the basics, but the whole concept here is to be an entrepreneur and not just be one of these things. I think that's the problem, is that you become just this, or you become just this, or just this, or just this, and then you only have one solution. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't work. But the entrepreneur, which is what we're all about, knows how to put all these things together. Has these critical, write that down, 1 and 2, you got to have it. But then you understand all these other ways, and there's more. But that's the key, is to break the barriers, problem solve.
Yep. You walk away with anything today, make sure you walk away with these right here. These will change your life.
And if you don't know how to get it, call us. We try to talk about it, but we want to help you. You got to get it. You have to get it.
The thing is, you already got it. You just need to unlock that part of your brain that says you don't got it. Confidence, baby. All right, sub 2. So sub 2, you were assuming someone's loan. You're buying it subject to their financing. You're going to do this with professionals, but basically you are taking over somebody's payments. You're relieving them from the deal, and you are going to now start making payments on that mortgage, but you own the property. Great way to do it with no money. It's on the negotiations. Every sub 2 deal, every seller finance deal, every wholesale deal, you're going to have to negotiate and make it work, but it's very possible to do it with no money.
Yeah. What else? Partnerships. Yep. JV, partnership, however you want to call it.
We got 2 questions.
2 questions.
Let's go. Go ahead.
How does it benefit the buyer and the seller?
Well, sub 2 benefits the buyer because let's use that example. So Matt's got this loan at 3.25% interest. What interest rate would I get in the market today?
5.5.
5.5 on the low end, right? So if I were to go get a loan today, it'd be 5.5, 6% interest. But I'm going to assume Matt's note, and I'm going to start making payments on this note at 3.25% interest. I don't have to go to the bank. I don't have to get approved for a loan. I don't have to pay origination points. I don't have to get my credit pulled. I'm just going to start making payments on the work that Matt already did. So that's the benefit to the buyer, is avoiding all the chaos and all the loopholes and everything you got to jump through, and me and Matt just dealing directly with each other. And then second part of that question for the seller is the fact that they are getting relieved from this mortgage. Maybe they are in foreclosure. This guy, for the deal that I was explaining with Sweeney, I don't think he was in pre-foreclosure. He might have been, but for whatever reason, he really wanted out of this house, and he bought it at the wrong price. Market value was less than the balance he owed on it, so he wasn't able to sell it. He really needed to move, and this was a way that he could get out of the house and get on with whatever he wanted to do without actually selling it the way he was trying to, which he wasn't going to be able to do because price had gone below what his principal balance was. So that's why it benefited him, is it allowed him to get out of the situation. Second question?
The second is retaining to Chris's analogy of like, where do you make money if the property won't run out for more than the mortgage payment minus the 200?
Yeah. So here's how they made money. Remember, like I said, the seller agreed to pay $200 every single month towards the new buyer's mortgage. So instead of the mortgage payment being, $2,100, it was now $1,900 because the seller was going to pay the buyer's mortgage for $200 worth for I don't remember how long, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And the buyer wasn't going to rent this out to a long-term tenant. I believe they're coming into Airbnb it, therefore getting more rent than $1,900 a month.
Yeah, so they just use that as leverage. That's great.
Partners.
Partners, find the right partners. So, you can find a partner and you need the capital. You can find a partner and you don't need the capital, just like all these other things that we mentioned. The partner just brings a certain value that you don't have or that you value. Could be experience, right? So you could bring a partner on and be doing a seller financing deal with no money down, but you just want to work with this person. Who knows, right? But there's just another option to solve everything here we're talking about. And the obvious one is the partner puts up the money. You just get the partner to put up all the money and you give them a percentage of the deal, and then you put no money in and you get ownership. And similar to wholesaling, you're only going to get a partner if they find value in the deal as well. That's why they're going to do it. If you have someone who's experienced, there's all different things that they can bring to the table that's value that you get, and you're not limited. You can do no money down deals all the time if you have the right partner, and maybe you get 50%, maybe you get 5%, maybe you get 10%, maybe you get 2%. Who cares if you're not putting up any money? And you go get 2% of 1,000 properties, right? And you're going to do good work with somebody. So identifying that partner is a process, planting the seeds early because you want people to associate you with real estate, with good deals. But as we always talk about, investors also just look at the deal sometimes. So if the deal's good enough, maybe we don't need to know you.
Are you a gardener?
I'm a gardener, baby.
Can you explain this concept of planting seeds to everyone?
Yeah, it's biblical too. And it's just these things in real estate, they take so long to play out.
This isn't a get rich quick thing here.
No.
And if that's what you're here for, you really need to rearrange that in your head. This is a long game, and the wealth in real estate is built over time.
Yeah. So you're planting seeds every day of relationships, new people that you're meeting. You're planting the seed. What we do together is going to flourish. So I got to start it now, and you got to water it. You got to connect with them. You got to talk to them. You got to bring value to them. And so very few investors are going to even know who you are right now if you hadn't gotten started. But if you plant the seed right now, which could be buying them a piece of coffee or a cup of coffee, buying them lunch. I did it yesterday. I bought somebody lunch. I planted a seed, and he's a developer, and I don't know what's going to happen, and maybe nothing, but there's a seed planted. Yeah. Sometimes these seeds don't grow.
Yeah.
So it's just getting yourself out there.
A lot of them.
So you got to scatter the seeds. And so I really would hope that people could understand that in a deep way and try to plant 10 a day. Like, that's new things you're doing. New investors, new partners, new realtors, new things that you're learning, whatever it may be. Plant those seeds, water them, and see what happens over time. Every person that I've ever done a deal with, I met them like 2 years prior. I mean, not necessarily just buying these properties, but like partnered, or most of the things that happened from years ago. I mean, you see it firsthand, like planting seeds with Brian Whitten. Who knows what happens, but we're planting them. We're going to that meeting, and we're watering them. We already planted it. So the watering is, you can't do anything without it. But the whole idea is to get things out there that you're going to start growing and building over time.
Yep. All right. So partners, planting seeds. Matt Real Estate Seed, Johnny Appleseed. All right. So partners. So, I mean, there's so many different ways to get deals done. And that's the cool thing about real estate.
We're planting seeds right now with all you guys that we're talking to. We're not doing anything today with you.
Yeah, we are. We're getting here. We're getting knowledge. We're learning. We're planting seeds. We're building a relationship. And we want to be everybody's partner here. I mean, we got 30, 100 people in here, everybody watching on Instagram or wherever they're at. We go, every person comes in here and puts together $10,000. Then we got what, $1 million bucks. We got 100 of us put together. We can go buy a $4 million property. We're all partners at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're planting seeds. We want to be your partner. We want to buy real estate together. And that's the whole point of this. But there's different ways you can be creative. Maybe this seller right here, we just got 3 duplexes, 6 units with how much money? $0.
We're not, I feel like a lot of people that talk about this $0, they're actually just talking about it.
Clickbait or something.
We're legitimately, we have multiple deals. We've done multiple deals. We try to do this all the time. We literally live this. We got 60% of 3 duplexes, 20 for me, 20 for Alex, 20 for Sweeney. And we put nothing, 0, nothing. That's crazy. That even surprised me. And all it was we had a bigger problem to solve. I mean, this is the first time ever where I was like, I don't actually know the solution here. I'm like kind of bummed about it because I pride myself on knowing that I can figure out an idea. And so we brought Alex in. I was like, I need Alex on this one. And somehow we figured it out.
Well, we didn't that day necessarily. I walked in there, I was like, this ain't gonna work. I was like, this doesn't make sense. These numbers, they don't work.
But like, we didn't shut it off.
No.
We
kept
looked
talking.
for more we were like, let's keep thinking through this problem.
Yeah.
I feel like most people would be like, I'm out. I don't really think like when they saw that first deal with her and you're trying to like, I honestly believe like 99.9% would not know how to get a deal done there.
Right.
And this is what we're trying to talk about.
Well, here's the thing. So with that, the deal specifics weren't even that important. They were, and we were initially kind of, our viewpoint of the problem. So here's the problem. So this lady, she's an investor. She owns a good amount of real estate, at least 3 duplexes, a couple more properties. And one of her duplexes got smashed by a tornado. There was this tornado that came through Round Rock. Matt, Chris, and I own 3 on the other side of the street.
We bought them like a week before this freaking tornado.
No, we're under contract.
Oh, we're under contract. Even worse.
She had bought hers maybe a few months, 4 months, 5 months before the tornado. But this tornado came through Round Rock. And I mean, it was really sad. It really hurt a lot of people. Houses just got completely demolished. Tenants, I mean, it was really, really bad. I'd never seen anything like that before, dude. I was driving through the neighborhood the next morning. It looked like a war zone. This tornado just ruined people's houses in a matter of minutes. And anyway, so she owns this duplex. It was rented out. Tornado comes down our street and is bouncing back and forth, hitting all these houses or duplexes, and hers got hit and, removed the whole roof, chimney's gone, siding is missing. It's, taking all this debris and stuff that's in the street and smashing it into these properties. And, I was going to check on ours and I saw the tenants the next day and they're having to move out. They're trying to salvage everything they could. And so this property just got hit by this tornado. She got a contractor to come and fix all this work. And the contractor messed all the work up, stole some money, didn't do what he said he was going to do. And it just sat there vacant for however long and no work was done, really. I mean, he put like some cool bricks and stuff on the outside and like did stuff that didn't even matter to the inside of the house to get it rented out. And this was a problem for her.
She bought the property for
$425.
$425. She bought the property for $425, and she gave this guy $100K to fix it up
After the tornado.
And he literally did nothing.
He spent like $10,000 on bricks.
He did negative work. Like he tore some things out. He bought $10,000 worth of bricks. I mean, I don't even know what that looks like.
$16,000 worth of concrete.
Yeah, he just bought all this stuff and he didn't do anything. And so we walk in there and we're like, so you already out $100,000. It still needs $100,000. And it's not even worth it's worth what you paid for it in the first place. So we're at a negative $200,000 in value
Based on cash put in.
based on cash put in, yeah, and have no idea what it's going to sell for.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, what the,
Well,
how do we solve this problem? I don't even know, like, me not even being involved in this deal, trying to help you, I literally don't know what to tell you.
but she had 100 grand to put into it, even after the contractor sold 100.
Well, I know, but it's
And
like,
but
so
she came to us. Why? What was her problem?
okay, well, just to talk on that real quick. So she had the 100 grand, but it's like, why would you even put it in? Because it's better to just sell it as is.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know it's hard to say. But her problem was she was very frustrated with being taken advantage of. So she didn't want to get taken advantage of again. She was tired. Her husband's sick. So she doesn't have time for this. And it's just a mental drain. Like she doesn't even want to think about it. She literally wanted the problem to just
Go away.
disappear.
Yeah.
Like she was okay with selling it or foreclosing on it. She's like building or buying a property in Mexico. She had 50K in that property, and if she foreclosed on this, she wouldn't be able to buy that property. So now she's at another 50K. But at this point, money was irrelevant to her.
Emotionally.
It was emotional sanity that she was trying to just keep. I mean, she's taking care of her husband. She's working a full-time job. It was a bad situation.
Yeah.
So what we were able to do was to think outside the box, and we understood now that she had other properties, which helps because there's equity and there's value there, and there's ways to structure things for everybody to win, right? And so we basically put them all together and said, we'll handle it all. We'll do the renovations, we'll take over the management, we'll handle the mortgages, we'll do the insurance, whatever is required, so you don't have to think about this. And to do that, we'll take 20% each with 3 people. And now we're off to the races, and she didn't have to think about it. And we also really like her, and she's got a good job and she's making good money. So we'll go do more deals with her, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because we created an entity.
Great partner.
Great partner.
Yeah. Love her. And we're really helping her out. And we're almost done with the renovations. We'll have those things rented out in no time. Lexi's managing them. And Andrew and I are handling asset management. So all she's got to do now is sit back and collect her distributions.
Yeah. And maybe we'll just end up buying her out in a few years, like if she wants that, and then we own 100%.
Whatever's best for her.
Yeah. Or maybe we own her finance, the 40% from her.
Yeah. So partners, we solved that problem for her. And you have to be creative. You have to look at, you have to really be good at first identifying the problem, because the first answer you hear might not actually be the problem.
It's not. It never is.
Yeah, never is. Lady yesterday wants to sell her commercial property. Selling it for 360 was not her problem. Her problem, after some talking to her, was that she didn't have the cash to buy this property in Uvalde she wants. And she actually doesn't need 360. She only needs 80, right, to buy this property in Uvalde. So you first have to be good at talking through that, asking the right questions, asking what's important, really figuring out what the problem is. That way you can start coming up with solutions to that problem. And there are different solutions to the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe it's this one, maybe it's this one, maybe it's this one or that one, and others.
And the other problem here is that that's a process to figure out that problem. It takes patience, it takes creativity, you got to be smart. I bet you 90% of the time, realtors don't even understand the problem that their client has,
Yeah.
because they're just trying to get the listing. They're just selling themselves to make a commission. And they're not really understanding the problem, because they got one solution: list it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so for us, as we're in the game and we're making offers and we're buying a lot of deals off the market, we're talking to people that don't even understand the problem, and we're not even ever going to be able to figure out how to understand the problem. That's a huge challenge that we run into, because realtors will say, they'll kind of laugh us off like, oh, it's just the price, right? And as we've mentioned, it's very rarely and probably not ever just the price. So you got to figure out how to deal with that.
Right.
With on market. Off market's great. I have a commercial background, and you get face to face with everybody. the brokers and the owners. And I wish more realtors would do that. But I get it.
Yeah. Solving problems, asking the right questions,
The bigger the problem, the better the solution.
and the bigger the paycheck.
Bigger the paycheck.
Your income's probably directly related to the size of problems you're solving.
Yeah. So go get yourself some problems to solve.
All right.
And one other thing, there's
ahead.
always there's two parts. Write this down. There's the deal, and then there's the relationship. Both of them are things to pour into to find ways to add value and capture value.
Yep.
The deal is the property, and the relationship is the owner, the broker, the wholesaler, the investor, whoever it is. Plant seeds with both of those.
Yep. And then water them.
Water 'em.
Plenty of water. Pour a little value in there.
Come on, baby. Get some of that value.
All right. So partners, there's so many ways to do it. Find a deal. Go find someone to put up the money and y'all split it. That is a great way to do it. Right now, if anybody here has a deal, you can submit it on our website, submit a deal. If you got a great enough deal, we'll put up the money and we'll get the deal done with you and partner with you. That's a great way to buy real estate with $0. You just need the knowledge and the problem solving skills to go out there and find a good deal, and we'll partner with you and we'll put up the money, or we know someone else who will. So partners is a good way to start making money in real estate and investing in real estate with no money.
Yeah, and that no fear attitude, right? It's back to what I was saying earlier a little bit about the risk. Is I think one of the challenges in this business is that people are just scared to take the risk. Like everything you do is a risk. Door knocking, mailers, cold calling. Like you're not guaranteed to get paid on any of it. And that's the problem, is that people don't want to take that risk because they don't see the reward.
Right.
So that's what keeps you at your 9 to 5, because you're guaranteed. But the bigger the problem, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
Yep. All right. Wholesaling, seller finance, sub 2, partners. What else? I don't even know if we got enough room here.
I mean, unless you got something, I feel like there's some variation of all of those that can be a different version of itself. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like partners is, joint ventures. It's taking out a loan from these partners. It's raising private capital. I feel like maybe those are the big four.
It all starts with the deal. And you got to ask the right questions, solve the right problems here, and take it down any of those avenues, or connect some of the avenues. You could, find a seller finance deal that requires 20K down. So you bring in a partner, and then boom, you just made this connection here. Maybe you find a loan assumption, but you want to partner with somebody who is an Airbnb expert, and they're going to throw this into their system and start having you cash flow day one. So you buy it sub 2, you partner with somebody, make that connection. Maybe you find a deal that you want to wholesale, but you want to make your money on it. However, you'd really like to buy this deal and own this deal. I don't know if Alice is watching, but I wish we would have done this with the warehouse part, but we needed the cash.
Kept some ownership.
Yeah.
Invested it. Yeah.
But I mean,
You can get creative, man.
yeah.
You could wholesale a subject to as a JV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a Fugazi.
Like anything's possible.
Yeah, that's the cool thing, is you just got to figure out puzzle pieces.
Puzzle pieces, lines in the water, planting seeds, baby.
So
Having fun. You gotta have fun with it.
you could take your wholesale fee of 10 grand and be like, hey, look, I want to put this into the deal with you in buyer. 10 grand will be my portion of the ownership, and let's own this together. And I will manage this deal for free. I'll oversee the construction. I'll manage all the contractors, get everything ready. And when this is done, after I put in all that sweat equity, I want to be moved up to 33% owner instead of 10% with my 10 grand.
You have to understand the time value of money. And we're gonna do another course on that. But there's so many things, and you just have fun. Like a lot of times when you have a wholesale fee, if you're getting a loan, the wholesale fee's got to come out of your pocket because the lender doesn't want to lend on it, right? So let's say that I'm wholesaling a deal to you and it's going to add $10,000 to your down payment. hey, Alex, you don't actually need to pay me the 10 grand. How about you just pay me 500 a month for the next X amount of years? Maybe you do that. And I'm going
Yeah.
to start getting paid every month and it's going to save you 10 grand. So there's all these different variables. And that's where time value of money is critical.
Yeah.
Because you can factor in, I mean, I'd probably do that, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have to pay 10 grand now and you're basically just paying out another loan.
Yeah. IRS call said, I want 117 grand.
Yeah.
Well,
You wanna
look,
pay
let me
them for
pay you this for however long.
Yeah.
So Matt's right. I mean, there's so many different ways to put this together and there's so many ways to structure it, but all you need is the confidence to go out there, solve problems, and you need the education on how to go out there and find deals.
And hopefully you guys have really understood what we're saying. We're trying to lay it out in as much detail as we can and get to the point where there's no excuse. I mean, if you have an excuse, I'm not trying to talk down on you, but tell us what it is and we'll help you talk through it because there shouldn't be an excuse.
No.
There really should. I mean, we've literally showed you today multiple aspects, multiple case studies. We live it, we do it every day. So you can't have an excuse. If you do, and you really believe that you have an excuse, let's talk and we'll help you figure that out.
What questions we got, Kat?
Have you helped out any wholesalers with proof of funds letter, and then have y'all as the end cash buyer?
What was it? Have you what?
Have like you guys as the end cash buyer?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I shared my proof of funds today with one of our an agent with TRE, and I don't think any brokerages do that.
It's because they're not investment firms.
Yeah. I mean, what broker's giving you their financial statement to make offers?
Yeah.
I know if I had that when I was getting started, I'd be going crazy with that. There's no limit because I did have, here's the thing, we've gone through this. I've gone through not having the capital, and my first loans I took were these private money company out of Florida, and I didn't know what it was, and I was actually pretty nervous. Like my first deal that I bought subject to, I guess now thinking back, I can understand why people have this fear, but I was like, well, I'm at a title company. I guess this is legit. The guy I was dealing with, I didn't get a good vibe from, but I just did it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, yeah. Then I fully understood it. So when you don't really have that clarity, I can see why there's some hesitation or reason to be scared. But if you're listening to this, you have access to get a hold of us. We're literally telling you we will help you solve it.
For sure. One other thing with the proof of funds letter, because this could potentially be somebody's excuse. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yes, I give people my proof of funds,
Yeah.
Wholesalers, agents, yes.
But so many other people will too. It's really important in wholesaling. We teach this in the course, but it's important to have a good team. One of those team members that you need is a hard money lender or a lender in general. I could email any of our hard money lenders right now and say, hey, this address, this purchase price, I need a proof of funds letter, send it over. And they'll send it over to me ASAP the moment that they see it. So that's an easy problem to solve. You just need to go out there, plant some seeds, talk to us, talk to some lenders. And there's a lot of people out there who want to do business with you, and they'll be willing to write you a proof of funds letter.
Yeah.
And
ours is different though. I mean, they're going to say they'll lend you the money. We're showing you that we have it.
Yeah. Same thing though. I mean, it's just a letter. It's just a piece of paper with a number on it.
Sure.
And to answer the other question, yeah, we're in buyers. Send all your deals to us. We'd love to check them out.
And let's do a subject to
JV
JV wholesale.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Is subject to only for homes being foreclosed on. Also, the seller's name is still on the loan. So how does that work for the deed on the home?
Yeah. So with the subject to, it doesn't have to be foreclosure. It could be anything. The deed would actually be, so you're going to go through a title company. You are going to get the deed, but you have a promise to repay it. You're just not fully assuming the mortgage with the lender. And there's a due on sale clause, which we have a great video about, that can come up, and you can play this little cat and mouse game. There's all solutions, problems to be solved, but you're it most of the time is foreclosure, but sometimes it doesn't have to be. And there's subject to, and then there's a wrap where you change the terms of the subject to, and the owner makes a little bit more every month. They make the difference. So you do get the deed, you have the ownership, depending on you paying the property off. You're just not officially assuming the loan with the bank, because if you wanted to, they're gonna get your financial statements, your credit, and then they're gonna want to jack the rate up because they can.
Yeah.
So back to wholesaling, subject to is a similar mindset. There's a negative stigma, but morally, you're making the payments that have been agreed upon. So there shouldn't be any issues. The banks maybe would call it due if they were, seeing the market change and they're getting greedy and trying to get a higher interest rate. But there's a solution to that, and especially if you work with the right title company that understands this stuff, because very few actually do.
Mhm. No foreclosure, doesn't have to be foreclosure, can be anything, anybody. And yeah, you can solve that problem if the due on sale clause did come into play. Next.
Good
So
questions,
have you-
guys.
Have you dealt with the due on sale clause being enforced and the lender forcing you to pay them off?
Never dealt with it, but we had like I mentioned, a big podcast about it, about what to do. You could sell it, you could refinance it, you could transfer the deed back to the owner and transfer back to yourself a week later, play this little cat and mouse game. But there is a solution, and if you do it right and you're with the right title company and you understand this the way we do, you're not going to lose the property. It's not going to happen.
Great question.
Yeah.
Do you find these type deals at auctions?
Yeah, you can find them anywhere. Just, you got to understand what the seller situation is at the auction. There's a solution. The bank, they're past due, so you got to reinstate it and you can take it over. You can find it through just networking and referrals. You go through the pre-foreclosures, you go to the courthouse, you go to courthouse and you see the eviction list, the utility shutoff list, the divorce list. They're everywhere.
It's all public information for the foreclosures, at least.
Good. That's great. I love these questions, guys. Appreciate that.
Oh, one more. Yeah, if you have a deal, just bring it to us, and you can submit it on our website. Kat, can you put that link in the comments? Submit a deal. Submit it there, and we'd love to do any of these deals with you guys and help y'all out.
They were asking about the course.
Oh,
and the offer.
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Hit him with it, Alex.
Go ahead.
Where can you find a VR contract to use for partnership deals?
VR contract.
JV
Maybe
contract.
JV is
JV contract.
Hey, just give us an email, matttypke@gmail.com, and let's connect and we'll figure out how to help you out. You can kind of customize it depending on what your goals are. I think there's probably some blank templates on Google, but let's really talk through what you're specifically trying to do, because there's a lot of ways to go about a JV. So, go ahead.
Yeah, they're not JV. And then Anne asked, is it in person of course?
The course is online, the event is in person, and we hope to see you there.
Yeah. So today, again, listen, hey, I'll do something else for everybody too. $597, you got to get it today. You get the VIP ticket to the Entrepreneur Real Estate Workshop, April 29th here in Austin, Texas. Full day event, 300 plus people are there, and you get the wholesale and jumpstart course. It's this is a $700 savings. We sell this for $1,300, but we'll do something else for them too. We're about to launch our flip course, and we'll throw in the TRE flipping formula. It's a deal calculator. It'll run you through the numbers. You'll have this for forever. We'll give you that for free. Flip calculator. We'll get you that for free if you take advantage of this. This is going to be gone tomorrow. Calculator. Free.
Let's go.
This is going to be gone tomorrow. You got to get it today. And hey, if you miss out on this or you don't have $597 today, that's okay. The wholesaling course will always be there. The VIP tickets will be there. They're going to sell out, but they are going to be more expensive than the deal you're getting today.
What if someone's already purchased the wholesale first?
You got to get all these. You can get the VIP ticket for sale on Monday.
Cool. And yeah, hopefully you guys find some value here. We're here to help. We're laying it all out. We're always willing to lay it out. We're open book. We'll give you the financial statement if you need it. We're here to help you guys. And there are opportunities for everybody in real estate, and you got to take the risk, but you can't just sit back. And depending where you live, we're here in Austin, Texas. We couldn't be more blessed. It's Opportunity City, baby. Don't forget it.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, y'all took the first step today. You're here. You're not watching TV. You're not out, drinking mimosas with your friends or something. You're not, sleeping in. You're here getting all your education that you need. And next, what you need to do is just go out there and take action. So you should be proud of yourself. You showed up today with everybody else here. You didn't, go do whatever else all your friends are doing. And this is where it starts.
Let's get it, baby. There's some deals out there. It's time to hustle. We're at the HQ here in Austin, Texas. The door is always open, and we've learned a lot. And we're not trying to be a tugboat, but we are looking for the hustlers. And so if you have the fire in your eyes and the desire to do more, I'm trying to look at you right now, we'll get it with you. We've been there. We're as motivated as ever. And there's nothing better than seeing people flourish in this environment, because we've been there, we've cried, we've had tears, we've been stressed, we've had lenders come at us, but it's all possible, guys. And if you want it, we really want to help you get there. We have a deep desire. I came from a single mom. She was literally cleaning houses. And then now she, I think, owns maybe 18 properties, and 7 or 8 of them are paid off. So it's just a testament to what's possible. I was very lucky to see what that looked like. Right? When we were growing up, all my friends knew we had 18 properties, but it didn't mean we were making a ton of money, right? My mom was trying to figure out how to pay the taxes. Over time, you got to the point where the rents, you could increase them. Now she's cash flowing, and man, if a single mom can do it, if other people can do it, it's all possible. There's opportunities for everybody. And you guys really, like Alex said, good job on being here. We're gonna be working all day. Whatever you need, reach out anytime, and God bless you guys.
Yep. Thank you guys. And we'll see you next time. Hope to see y'all at the event.
Peace.